Hello Year 2, welcome to your history lesson. Today I would like you to watch the video carefully, then see if you can answer the Victorian quiz in the online learning pack. Who is this a picture of? I'm sure most of you might know because we have discussed her. It's Queen Victoria. And we're going to be learning some facts today about Queen Victoria. So Queen Victoria was born on the 24th of May in 1819 in Kensington Palace in London. And that's almost 202 years ago. There she is as a little girl and as a young girl there. Her full name was Alexandrina Victoria. Queen Victoria was born to an English father and a German mother. That's her father there on the left, Edward, Duke of Kent, and her mother, Princess Maria Louisa Victoria from Germany. She became queen in 1837 when her uncle died suddenly. And she was only 18 years old. Her father had already died and her uncle was next in line to the throne. But when he died, she then became queen. And our present queen, Queen Elizabeth II, was also very young when she was crowned queen after her father died suddenly. So they had something in common. And if you look at this picture here, you can see our queen, Queen Elizabeth II, wearing the same crown, there she is as a young lady, wearing the same crown as Queen Victoria. And the crown gets passed down to each monarch. Monarch means ruler. Now, Queen Victoria ruled not just the United Kingdom, but she ruled over several countries: Great Britain, Ireland, Canada, large areas of India, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Africa and parts of South America. And you can see all those in red. They're highlighted in red on the map. And together, these countries formed what was known as the British Empire. And in fact, Queen Victoria was given the title of Empress of India. Now, she had many hobbies, did Queen Victoria. She enjoyed singing, painting and going to the opera. And we know this from the pictures that we see of her and of her diary. She kept a diary and she wrote everything down in. So in this picture here, this painting is a painting of her at the Royal Opera House. And that's her sitting in the royal box with the blue sash on there. And that was her husband, Prince Albert, in the blue. And as I mentioned about the diary, she wrote things down in her diary. So we know that she enjoyed singing and listening to music. And she wrote in her diary, "We had the great treat of hearing Mendelssohn play, and he stayed an hour with us playing some new compositions. I also sang 3 of his songs, which seemed to please him." And here we've got a sketch of Queen Victoria with her husband Albert, and they're listening to Mendelssohn, who was a famous composer. Now, she married Albert in 1840, and his title was Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. But because she was queen, she had to propose to him. She had to ask him if he would marry her. In those days, it was usually the man that asked the lady if they would marry. But because she was the queen, she had to do it. Now, if you look at this photograph, it's a photograph of them in their wedding attire, their wedding clothes. However, this photograph wasn't taken when they got married. Can you guess why? It's because cameras hadn't been invented in 1840. So this photograph was taken several years later when cameras had been invented, and they put on their clothes and they posed for this photograph to remind them of their wedding. Victoria and Albert had 9 children. They had Victoria, Edward, who was also named Albert Edward, Alice, Alfred, Helena, Louise, Arthur, Leopold, and Beatrice. Now, our Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, also had a lot of children. She had 4 children. Queen Victoria liked to ride horses. And guess what? Our Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, also liked to ride horses. You can see them both on their horses here. Queen Victoria also had many homes. She had Kensington Palace in London, Windsor Castle, which is very close to High Wycombe, Balmoral Castle, which is in Scotland, Osborne House, which is in the Isle of Wight, which is actually where she died, and Buckingham Palace. And she was the first monarch to live in Buckingham Palace. Monarch, as I said before, means ruler. So she was the first ruler of England to live in Buckingham Palace. When Prince Albert died in 1861, he fell ill and died. Queen Victoria was only 42, and she was very sad when he died and decided that from then onwards she would only wear black clothes for the rest of her life. So you can see her here in her mourning attire. And that's when she must have been around 42. She looks quite young there. And this is her as an older lady, dressed still in black. Now, one of Queen Victoria's good friends was Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli, who lived at Hewingdon Manor in High Wycombe. Now, we know all about that because we've been to visit Hewingdon Manor when we did our walk to Hewingdon Park. And Queen Victoria actually did go to visit him at Hewingdon Manor, and we know that because there are drawings of it. And if you look here, this is Queen Victoria going through High Wycombe High Street on a coach. That's her sitting on the coach there. And I think this is from a newspaper article, possibly. And here we've got a photograph of lots of chairs forming an arch in the High Street when Queen Victoria was driving through. Here's another photograph of it here. And the chairs are there because High Wycombe was well known for producing chairs, so that's why they decorated the archway with chairs. And in fact, in the year 2000, to celebrate the millennium, High Wycombe did the same thing. They put modern chairs in an archway in the High Street. Now, you probably recognise this area a little bit better. This is where the market normally is in High Wycombe. And you see these arches here. Well, if I scoot back to the previous photograph, you can see here, that's those arches there. So Queen Victoria came through High Wycombe on her way to visit Benjamin Disraeli. Here's some more photographs. Oh, here's some more photographs of her. That's her as an older lady. That's her when she was young, when she married Prince Albert. There you are. There she does smile. There's not many photographs of her smiling, but she does smile. Now, when Queen Victoria died in 1901, she was 81 years old, and her son, Edward, became king then. So the word Victorians is the Victorian era is when Queen Victoria was queen, became queen. So all the time that she ruled, that was the Victorian age. And when her son Edward became king, it became the Edwardian age. So the Edwardian age is named after King Edward. I hope you've learned a few facts about Queen Victoria. Now what I'd like you to do is to complete the Queen Victoria quiz on the home learning page. Have a look at the questions. See if you can answer them. All the answers are in this video, so if you're not sure, you can always play the video again, see if you can answer them.